Hey everyone, what's going on here? Jason Pacheco, episode 16 of the Millennial Real Talk podcast. Matt Reddy here as always. Those of you who don't know, we work together on a team in Rhode Island, a real estate team within the Caldwell Banker office in Cumberland, Rhode Island. Pretty much service all of Rhode Island. Rhode Island's a small state, would you say?
Yeah, small state, but haven't done any transactions out in Newport or Narragansett. Not that we're not open to it or anything, or can't get some knowledge on it. But as far as like down there, but
So here's wrapping up quick though. Personally, I set some goals this year for real estate, and I'll be very honest with everyone watching. I didn't hit a goal.
Still did well. I would say
we still did. We still did well, but my personal goals, I had twins this year. Little tricky of a time, so I don't know if I took my foot off the gas, or if people were just like, I'm not gonna bother Jason right now. That's kind of a thought I've been having. Like, let's say you didn't have your license, and you knew I was in the hospital like for day on, and you had someone that kind of wanted to buy. Would you be like, yeah, whatever, I'm not gonna reach out to Jay right now. I'm not gonna drop Jay's name right now. He's all tied up and not focused.
I think I definitely would have done that.
That's what I think might have happened a little bit.
Yeah, that might have been. I think you as an individual still had a good year. I think Jay holds himself to high expectations too. Having twins, that's actually a good point that you said that too, is, you had twins, and it wasn't, you knew you were having twins, but it was supposed to be just one, right? Definitely throw a wrench in things, and I think still a decent year, but
but we're getting a chance to go out this weekend.
Yeah,
Centerdale Revival in North Providence, a nice little spot there.
Yeah, it's been a while since the Twins.
I got to behave myself that night.
I know, me too. No pre-gaming.
But it's not often that I'm on the buy side. Like, as a real estate agent, I'm on the buy side a lot, but like personally buying a house. And so as a real estate agent, I'm always preaching. We're always preaching, if you want to start shopping for homes, get pre-approved. And I'll be very honest, me as the buyer, I kind of felt like I didn't want to get pre-approved if I didn't find the house yet. And that's what we tell all the buyers don't do. Yeah. So I put myself in the buyer's shoe, which was good. I learned some things, and I kind of thought, like, I always wondered as the real estate agent, why don't the buyers just get pre-approved? It's free. I don't get it.
Yeah, I think one thing I think about is because, like, I've been kind of in the hunt a little bit too, and I think it's just.
Why, are you feeling like that too a little? Or?
Yeah, I feel like I know I'm gonna get. I think because that's the response I usually get too when buyers are like, "Oh, I'm not pre-approved, but it'll be fine. We'll just do it later," because they like. Maybe they're just like their credit's so good and they have down payment. They just know they're going to, and you still should, because it takes some time.
Yeah,
so.
The feeling I got, it was almost like I didn't want to risk putting out my personal information, showing someone in this world how much money I make, what's my credit score, pretty much opening up my finances to someone. Even though I trusted the person I went with, I just didn't want to do that if I didn't have the house yet. I didn't think it was worth it. Maybe my email could get hacked, sending all this tax stuff. I don't know. I just had this like wall up, like, hey, like I don't want to. This is so important. My social security number, all this documents and important stuff. I don't want to hand it over if I don't have the house yet. So I was a little. That's what it was for me. So I don't know if that's what it is for other buyers out there.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting take. I don't think I actually had that view. So it's interesting. I don't. But it's just another view. It's probably another reason why some people don't.
Which kind of leads me to buyers out there, if you don't, or you're hesitant to get pre-approved because of whatever reason, and you want to start house shopping. We always stress get pre-approved first. It makes the most sense. But if you just don't want to, the theory, the technique I would say is do the like manila folder technique. That's kind of what I'm starting to preach. It's really reach out to the loan officer, find out all the documents you need, get all those documents. It takes 3 to 5 days to you have to reach out to your employer, get your W-2s, pay stubs. You have to get tax returns in order. You have to get a bunch of stuff in order and put it in a manila folder and just keep it on your desk or wherever you want. Now, when you do find that house that you want to place an offer on, you have all the paperwork in the manila folder, scan it, and it's a matter of the lender reviewing it. Within 48 hours, you should have a pre-approval letter.
Yeah.
So you're not really handing all the documents over and getting the credit score pull and all that up front without finding the home, but at least you have everything in the folder ready to just open and scan. You could even scan it all into your computer and have it on the folder in the computer so you don't have to scan it. That's one less step you have to do when you find that house. Because it's a matter of time crunch when you do find a house. You find the home, you want to place an offer. You don't want time to go by. So you want to just make it quick and easy. It's all in your computer, in a file. All you have to do is drag it into an email and send it. You don't have to scramble as much.
Yeah, because it's a pain in the butt getting that. I mean, when handling like transactions for clients, like dealing with the paper, in a similar fashion, obviously not their documentation, but I'm usually all over it. But when it comes to my own stuff, I'll send, one.
Yeah, I tried to scan something.
I'm like, I'll do it later.
Then, what happens, I took all my information out, scanned everything, put it all back in its folders, organized back in the briefcase or wherever, in my safe. Then I sent it all the next day. The person says, hey, the top right-hand corner was clipped. Can you rescan it? And I have to go back in the basement, take all this stuff out, unorganize it, take pictures again. It was just such a headache. Yeah. So just get it done before you start shopping. If you don't want to send it over to the lender because you're skeptical, just put it in a folder. Get prepared.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, the reason I'm touching on that is because rates are coming back down and there's still low inventory. So it's just going to start getting more competitive again. Right as of 2 days ago in Rhode Island, there were 1,015 single family homes for sale. There were 176 multifamily homes for sale and 203 condos.
100, that's terrible.
And to break it down even more, that would average, there's 4.5 multifamilies per state in Rhode Island. So that's very average. I just took this 39 cities, I think, in Rhode Island, and I divided it. But obviously in Providence is going to be more single family homes for sale than Cumberland. But if you were to, on average, that's about 4 homes to pick from per state. So if you want to multifamily in Cumberland, on average is going to be 4 for sale right now. So you only could pick from 4. There's not a lot to pick from. So 4 homes, there's probably 500 buyers looking for a multifamily to hit the market in Cumberland. When one goes for sale to make it the 4th or 5th, everyone's going to go to it. And there's just so much competition. Just to continue on the market stuff, year over year. So the third quarter is from July to September. That's the third quarter of the year.
Yep.
So this year in July to September, compared to last year in July and September, sales were down 20%. So, for example, if 100 homes sold last year, 80 of them sold this year. So that's called transactions. So transactions are down about 20%. And that was when interest rates were still decent, July to September. I don't think they went up yet.
Yeah, they were still good because I closed on. Yeah, they were still like mid 4s, kind of creeping up to the high 4s. I remember because I had a couple.
Right.
There. But
so the market was down 20% quarter 3, with the rates still okay. The rates came up a lot in quarter 4, so I'm wondering what this year is going to be. The median price stayed the same. Just because of the lack of inventory thing. But I know numbers are boring to talk about, but I just wanted to hit on that stuff there. It's crazy, though. The market, it's coming into Christmas right now. Do you have anyone shopping right now?
Yeah, I have. I really only, because, it closed on 2 a few weeks ago, and then I have one. I actually picked up another.
Tell us about the offer with all those. You got declined, and how many competing offers were there?
Yeah, there were 2. We submitted 2 offers actually. So I actually submitted one myself for investment, then another one for a client, and the first one for me, we're real estate agents, so we're always trying to find a deal if we're shopping for ourselves, and I think it was like 30. I went 30,000 under. Didn't get that, so
they answered you.
Yeah, he answered me. Yeah.
Is it still on market, or did he?
It just say no. They went with another. Yeah, okay. They went with another offer. So and I saw it actually went pending today or under contract or whatever. So, but then the other one was, multifamily, and it was, my clients had went to the open house, they saw it, and I think we went, what was it, like 12 over, so, and then, so they didn't see the second unit, so I went back Monday night, I went with them, and there's 25 people waiting outside. I'm like, I was just like, all right, so, and, we see the unit, we get back outside, they liked it, and I literally told them, I'm like, it's 25, I mean, we might have to go, mad de-escalation clause, and, but, I guess long story short, we were at 12 over, they ended up adding the escalation to like 27 over asking, and we didn't get it, and I was shocked, because the way the rates are, I mean, they're come back down, but they're not what they were.
Right.
And so yeah, I don't know. I mean, my client was not happy either. He was like, "What the hell? I'm like, what do you want to do? You want to go 30, 40? This isn't the summer of 2020 or whatever." Right. So yeah, it's kind of stunk, but I guess that shows the inventory. The inventory is not high, so it's reflected there. But just on to the next one. I mean, right. I know he didn't want to hear that, but I mean, it is what it is. So,
yeah. Also talking about lenders out there. Again, just another example of why a realtor and a lender working together makes so much sense, and you want to work with their team, their trusted agents or trusted lenders. So I had a buyer, Bank of America pre-approval, wanted to place an offer on a house this weekend. Yeah. And there's one of those listing companies out there. I hate how they do this, but it makes sense. It's just an extra step. It's not common. They want a questionnaire filled out by the lender to place an offer. So if you want to place an offer, they need the pre-approval letter, the offer, and also this questionnaire filled out by the buyer's lender, just reconfirming they pre-approved them. So, of course, Bank of America is slow. They only work from 9 to 5 during the week for the most part. My clients wanted to place an offer on this home. We couldn't place the offer until we got the questionnaire filled out. And it's like, all right, let's see how long this takes. Bank of America couldn't do it. They said, we can't fill this out. Because I'm guessing they're so, they're a big corporate company, and they probably have guidelines and things and procedures of doing things.
20 different procedures.
Yeah, and they can't fill this out. They couldn't fill that document out.
Yeah.
So that's just another reason why you want to use someone local that your realtor works with that wants to get the job done. Yeah. So, back to the multifamily stuff. I'm got the clear to close today, actually.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, closing on the multi. And just to talk on that once again, down payment and stuff. Again, I'm closing on a multi. I own a single family first, so I had to put a lot more money down. If you wanted to, and I just want to touch on this topic out there, like if you're living with someone, a roommate, or you're married, right, and you're getting divorced, unfortunately, if you find yourself like getting into a situation where you can't afford your home anymore, and you're like, I gotta go rent, I just can't afford a mortgage anymore, I would strongly advise you try thinking about house hacking. And if you don't know what it is, it's a matter of, I don't know if you want to talk on it. You love talking about this.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny actually. Quick story. So I was in the what was it? Wednesday I was in the gym, and I overheard this guy talk. Regular gym goer. I heard him talking. I didn't go up to him or anything, but I overheard his conversation with somebody else, and two guys in there working out, and he was saying how sounded like he was renting. Again, I don't know him personally, but sounded like he was renting, and he was talking to his friend about how he was thinking about buying a house, but he's like, the payment on a house that's, I think he said like close to 400 or something like that. So I'm assuming he has an expectation of what a house, it's got to be at least 400,000 for it to be, acceptable.
Wants,
or what he wants. Yeah. So, and he was saying, that payment is whatever, I think he said like 3,400. I guess it depends on the rate, but, that might be accurate, maybe might not be, but depending on a bunch of factors. But and when he said that, I was thinking, I mean, yeah, he's not wrong about that. It's kind of like, that is a lot of money, but then at the same token, he mentioned what he was paying for rent, and I'm like, Well, there's another option. Like, it doesn't have to be the $400,000 single family home for your first house. I mean, it doesn't, you know what I mean? And that kind of brings me into like the house. Everyone knows I'm a big fan. If you anyone that watches this or knows me, I'm a big fan of house hacking. I mean, I do it. You live in one side, rent out the other. I mean, you can even get something nicer. You can even spend a little more money on a multifamily too. And you don't have to get something that's like, I mean, it depends on what you make and stuff, obviously, too. But you don't have to get something that's like in a really bad area or that needs a load of work, or, you can definitely get something solid, you know what I mean? And you have some income coming in. So even if your payment was, let's say, $3,500 on something on a nice multifamily, right? You can generally get some, the other side, even if that's a duplex, you can get someone to pay the other side half of that. You know what I mean? And that's, I don't know, $3,500. We won't try to do quick math on the over the air, but you can, you're having someone offset the cost of that. So I think that, and then you build up some equity over a couple of years, and then you can take that and then go get something nicer if you want. You know what I mean? Move out of the multi, get a single. And it was interesting too, because when I heard that conversation in the gym, I just thought like, and this guy, I think he was probably in his late 30s, early 40s, and I couldn't help but thinking like, you're not going to get, you know what I mean, the nicest house or what you want to start. I mean, we all didn't get exactly what we want, you know what I mean? So
yeah, and like I'm just thinking like someone could be saying, I'm not, let's say they have kids and then whatever, and they're saying I don't want to go live, I don't want to go, like, if they're going to go rent, they're going to go live in an apartment. And so why not be the landlord and live in the apartment? So if it's like the lifestyle, like I don't want to be a landlord in an apartment, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you go rent, you're going to be in an apartment. You know what I mean? So might as well, you're going to have the same sort of lifestyle. You're going to be in an apartment, you own it, versus you having to pay a mortgage. Rent to someone else.
And the biggest thing about that is like, you can't be thrown out. Like, for example, like if I decide to sell my place tomorrow and move, my tenants are the new landlord's either going to come in, give them the chance to pay more rent, maybe he doesn't, or he just kicks them out and they don't even get to say. So like you could be moving every couple of years, just getting kicked out of places. It's a lot more stress, I think, personally.
Right.
I think a lot of people hit that wall too, like I've noticed, because I've closed on a bunch of multifamilies now, and I think with clients, they tell me the stories, and I think people getting thrown out is just like they're getting to a point where they're just like, oh God, maybe I should just try to get my credit together, save up, and that way at least they can go live somewhere and stay there, and they don't have to worry about getting thrown out. And I feel like I hear a lot of stories too about, the rent just keeps going up, and it's like, at some point you should think about buying, I think anyone can just, obviously you got to get your finances in order, get a job, but you got to be consistent saving and stuff. But FHA 3.5% down, I think anyone can, do it. Obviously it takes a little bit of discipline, but
if you want to talk about it, I know last week we had Jared on here and he briefly mentioned you had a part-time job. And then to continue real quick, that's very common. Matt's been in it. He's not even one complete full year. So I just want to have Matt touch on, if you want to get into real estate, more than likely you have to have a full-time job, and it's you have 24 hours in a day, 8 hours it goes to your full-time job probably. And then you have, so much more time to do things. So how do you structure your days, and how is it balancing your full-time job? And if you had to give advice to someone, what kind of full-time job should they look for? Maybe, work from home, does that help, or,
Yeah. So I work a full-time job. So I work from home. I'm fully remote. So obviously that helps, day to day. So if I have a client that needs something, I'm pretty available. And I can kind of balance, like, if I'm on break, whatever, if I need to do something quick for real estate, it definitely helps. I think I'll be honest, I think most of us did too anyway, but if you're going to try real estate, or you're thinking about real estate, you almost have to do it on the side, unless obviously Jared, he's living at home, 18. You can go. I think you can just jump right into a full time, but. You know, I didn't start out that way. I already had a house. I'm house hacking, which is great, but you know, at the same time, like, you know, I couldn't just couldn't leave my full-time job or anything. So, so yeah, anyone out there that's looking to, like, you know, get into real estate, you're going to be doing it on the side to start. And I think there's a bunch of different ways to do that. Like, I joined a team, and it's been really good. I mean, you know, it's been what, a year and a half now. So, it's been really worth it. It really is a good thing. 'Cause I mean, you don't like, you know, a lot of people like that work a second job. They'll, like, let's say, I think I was working out, this was a few years back, but I was working at the liquor store, and you go there and it's a, you know, set number of hours and you get paid, like, you know, nothing. It's like, you know, real estate, it's, you know, obviously there's some upfront work, but it is nice because when you're, you know, it's not taking up all your time either. You're not going to work 5 to 10 at night at some second job. You know what I mean? You just pop into a showing. You know, obviously obtaining the clients can be, you know, some of that upfront work, but it really is. It's a flexible thing, and it's you know, it's definitely rewarding too. I mean, it's considerably more money and everything, and you know, and I would say, you know, the goal would be eventually to be real estate full time. So. You know.
So yeah, me and Matt and I actually had 2 jobs in common. We both worked at Hertz Rental Cars. That's where we met.
That was way back.
Then we both worked at a liquor store.
Yeah.
But man, Hertz, what a time.
Yeah, that was something else. This was before. So I work at FM Global now. I'll just say it, I guess. So yeah, I work at FM Global now during the day. Great company, great job. I actually do like, you know, most of the job anyway, but yeah, before that we used to work for Hertz, and
like,
oh, man.
so I've worked,
that sucked.
Yeah, I've washed dishes, I've worked at a liquor store, I've DJ'd, I've worked at a pizza place, I've worked at a coffee shop, I've worked at Hertz. I'm a real estate agent. Hertz was I mean,
I can't,
I don't even know. It was just, it's a different animal, and you know, no, I'm not saying, like, I don't put myself at risk. You know, there's no much risk to it. It's not like that. I'm not saving lives. It's not stressful, but it was like, I mean, picture yourself.
It's like beyond. I mean, dysfunctional would be putting it lightly.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, if you can last more than like 3 months at Hertz, I mean, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah.
I really.
I mean,
a normal day is 12, 13 hours. Like, and you're not just like, and actually probably more, but I would say that, like, you're not just like, you know, you're not just like doing paperwork. Like, I could do like 16 hours a day working from home on my laptop. But when you're like doing a lot of manual labor.
Yeah, like the typical Monday, I'll just use for an example. Get in there at 6:30 a.m. We opened at 8. You clean a bunch of cars that were used over the weekend in a shirt and tie.
And that's not even enough time. 6:30, he's just being like if you get there at 6:30.
You pull a car in, you get the vacuum, your tie's dangling, hitting the floor.
Yeah, you're wearing a
tie. Pull out a condom, you throw out gum wrappers, there's a baby diaper on the floor. Just 6:30 a.m.
You're
like
sweating.
Then you get then you get a phone call. We're not even open yet. The phone's ringing. There's people at the front door in line. Like, we're not open for another hour. Yeah. Then you open, and then you get a call, and this one has to go to a body shop. This one has to go to a body shop. Now there's one person alone in the office where that line has developed.
Out the door.
So they're taking one-on-ones, and then the phone's ringing, and you're doing a rental, and then the phone's ringing, and please hold. And
now the person in front of you, the cards declined.
Cards declined. You didn't tell me that over the phone. I told you that. No, you didn't. Where's your manager? He's not here. Because the manager comes in. He was just drinking. He's an alcoholic. He's drunk. He comes in. Hey. And then the whole morning goes by, and then it's lunchtime, and it's like, oh, a car was in an accident. Oh, someone's calling. Their tire popped. Oh, it's just such a mess. Oh, you have to drive to New Hampshire to pick up a minivan. Someone made a reservation and needs a minivan. It's like, and the craziest part, last topic on this, for Hertz, they've never turned off the reservation system online.
Yeah.
So I can go there tonight for fun if I wanted to just mess around with Hertz because they messed around with my mental health and yours for life. I could go in there and make 90 million reservations for a single minivan, and they will not have it tomorrow.
Yeah. Have you ever booked?
Like, pause the reservation system, dude.
Yeah, just. I think anyone that's planning to like go on a road trip, Disney with your kids, and all, you want.
No, there's no way. There's no way to confirm it's going to be there.
There's no way. No. Don't expect to like. First of all, you should do it months out if you're gonna do it. I mean, I wouldn't even do it, but I would call them every day, 3 months out, up until the day. That's the only way they might guarantee it, and even then, it's up in the air. You might get a car that smells like weed and isn't really clean that well because there's not enough help. Yeah. Like,
I remember we had one guy, Brett, if you're watching.
God, we love you, but
we're supposed to dress like dress pants, belt, shirt, tie. He'd come in, fly down, a sock around his waist for a belt.
Sock for a belt instead of the belt, a sock. Yep.
Oh my!
That was
the drivers.
He'd be hungover, like it was something else. I mean, drinking nips. Oh, he was crazy, but that was I don't know how he lasted as long as he did. That job was. It was tough. 2 years. How long were you there for?
2 years.
You did
broken
do 2
up
years.
a little. Yeah.
Yeah, broken up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I had 2 years, and then oh my God, I think the last like 4 months I was like trying to exit hard. Like I was applying everywhere, and then the opportunity came up at FM Global, and
then the big shot area manager is coming.
Yeah.
The manager will come out of his back room. Guys, it's tidy up. The big guy's coming. He walks in the door, oh God, here he is.
Yeah, it was so dramatic.
Everyone kisses ass to him.
I know, yeah. It's so funny too because, I look at like, I guess the equivalent to an area manager at like my job at FM Global, and it's or even my direct manager, like even the assistant manager, and I'm just like, like they have a brain and like are high performer, and I just look at like that, and it like hurts the hierarchy, and it's like they couldn't even tie their shoes. I mean,
Matt, you were a manager before.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
like that was terrible. I mean, they were literally just hiring managers like just to fill spots. I mean, it was like ridiculous. Like,
I speak to your manager. Here comes Matt.
Yeah, I'm like coming out. I'm like, oh God. I used to just like lock the door in the back and just like forget it. I'm like, we don't have the car. I'm like, yeah, I already called my 3 bosses up, and they're just like, just deal with it. That's what they said. That's what they used to say. Just deal with it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, and I used to literally tell them, I'm like, I'm really sorry. And then I would literally verbatim say what my boss said. And I'm like, I don't know, whatever they would do, they'd yell, scream, leave, whatever. I didn't know what to do. I had no,
you can't build one.
Yeah, I can't build one. I know. So yeah, that was interesting. I'm happy that's over. My God. But
yeah, so in the next upcoming weeks, we got one more week, then it's Christmas. I don't know. We should be able to maintain the Thursdays, though, because Christmas doesn't fall really near Thursday. We should have a guest next week, which will be pretty cool. But if anyone else wants to hop on, feel free to reach out. I think it's a better time when we have a guest here. I think you agree with that.
Yeah, for sure. We also, because the guest next week, right? And then... that's for next week. It
should be next week. Yeah, we should have one for next week.
Yeah, and then I think the week after,
you may have one.
Well, I know the new year might, but beginning of January sometime I have someone that's coming up, real estate investor, Rhode Island, owns a bunch of multifamilies and stuff. So he's a millennial too. He's not like 55, so it's like we know people that like are not like absurdly old or anything that actually owns a property. So.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching episode 16.